Hi everyone. In today's reading sharing session, I'm going to talk about an article written by John Hare in 2012, Holistic Education, an Interpretation for Teachers in the IB Programs. Hare pointed out that holistic education has become a familiar topic within the current education literature, but there are some conflicting opinions about what holistic education represents. So, the purpose of this paper is to bring some clarity to what is meant by holistic education and to outline the characteristics and outcomes associated with it. He believed that such clarity would facilitate a comparison with other educational initiatives and allow curriculum designers to test whether they are delivering a program of holistic education. So, what is holistic education? Forbes says it is best described as a group of beliefs, feelings, principles, and general ideas that share a family resemblance. So, holistic education addresses the broadest development of the whole person at the cognitive and affective levels. It emphasizes the education of the student beyond the confines of the classroom. The aim of holistic education must be to prepare students for a fulfilling and productive life in which their skills and attributes are constantly developed and applied as part of their lifelong learning. It is an educational journey of personal discovery, starting with informal education and then continuing throughout life. Hare lists the four main features of holistic education. First, it nurtures the broad development of the students and focuses on potentials such as intellectual, emotional, social, physical, etc. Second, it promotes the importance of relationships at all levels within a learning community, in which the educator and the student work together in an open and collaborative relationship. And there is an emphasis on life experience and learning beyond the confines of the classroom and the formal educational environment. It encourages a desire to understand and to engage with the world. Hale believed that the aims and objectives of the IB programs reveal some common features in these characteristics. I select some features in the aims of IB programs and made a comparison with the characteristics of holistic education, and the similarities are identified as a result. Holistic education has the capacity to lead the students into new areas of thinking, while the IB has always championed a stance of critical engagement with the challenging ideas. Holistic education helps students to develop an appreciation of the world around them. The aim of all IB programs is to develop internationally minded people who, recognizing their common humanity and shared guardianship of the planet. Holistic education emphasizes the development of active relationships at all levels, while IB commits to create a collaborative global community united by a mission to make a better world through education. In the following section, Hale listed 10 attributes in student profile which associated with the holistic education. For example, acts with social and academic maturity and integrity, takes ownership of their own development and learning, demonstrates flexibility and a creative approach to problem solving, develops and maintains relationships, demonstrates a reflective approach and an attitude of continuous improvement, demonstrates good communication skills, demonstrate good meeting management, bring clarity to decision making, appreciate the interconnections in human knowledge, effectively use the information resources. Those attributes categorize the outcomes of the holistic approach. The students will begin to develop those attributes as they emerge from a formal program of holistic education. However, Hale suggested that these outcomes should not be interpreted as definitive goals that must be achieved within the years of formal education. He pointed out that the skills and attributes supporting a holistic approach to education will develop at different rates and reflect the maturity of the individuals, their personal experiences, and the relationships that they develop. As the student matures, these skills and abilities will serve them well in understanding their role in societies. Hale believes that, in common with the student profile, the learner profile of IB identifies educational outcomes at the academic, personal, and interpersonal levels, and a comparison of both profiles reveals a lot of similarities. For example, communicators within the learner profile has features in common with demonstrate good meeting management and involvement behaviors within the student profile. I also identified some other examples, such as principled within the learner profile and acts with the social and academic maturity within the student profile, and reflective, knowledgeable within the learner profile and their corresponding attributes within the student profile. So the comparison suggests that the IB programs also support the holistic approach. In the following, Hale lists some general implications of holistic education. Holistic education prepares a student for lifelong learning, in which the educational focus moves towards the life skills, attitudes that the student will need in a complex world. There is an emphasis on a broad educational approach that puts in place many of the values, attitudes, and skills that will serve the student well throughout life. This broad development of students must be carefully planned at the individual level and has impact on teaching strategy, curriculum design, and the assessment of progress. Holistic education calls for students to take ownership of their own development. However, it is a key element within holistic education, and teachers will need to drive this issue and encourage this ownership. The supportive role of the parent within holistic education is essential. Parents should recognize, encourage, and praise the positive behavioral changes. Next section, the implications for the teacher are discussed. Holistic education may be a joint journey of discovery for both student and teacher. Holistic education challenges teachers to think differently about student cognitive and affective development. The appropriate pedagogical approach will help students to meet their development needs. Take Chinese language classroom as an example. The language teaching could include discussions concerning different social issues, such as China's economic development and its impact on the environment, to develop students' intercultural understanding and critical thinking. Teachers must also examine the learning culture within their school to create an inclusive learning community that stimulates the growth of students' engagement with the world. At last, Hale summarized the importance of the holistic education. He sees that holistic education broadens and deepens the educational process. It represents a planned approach that encourages personal responsibility, promotes a positive attitude to learning, and develops social skills. These are essentials in the modern world. Hale believes that the identification of the outcomes of holistic education has advantages. These outcomes clarify the purpose of the holistic approach for students, teachers, and parents. Furthermore, it allows parents and students to make an informed choice when they are confronted with the different educational systems. Finally, he pointed out that the educational characteristics of the IB programs have much in common with the outcomes associated with a holistic approach to education. Therefore, he suggested that if parents favor a holistic approach to the education of their children, then the IB programs offer it. Here are two questions I have for the discussion. Thank you.